say congratulations. Work so hard, forgot how to vacation.
What's good, YouTube fam? I'm back with another video. Here I'm talking about my 30-day sobriety of weed. It's been like 4 days since I reached 30 days. So I'm gonna talk about my journey now that I'm 30 days clean from weed. So, and to mention, like, I want to mention, if you are a functional stoner, like, props to you. I was trying to do that, but it did not work out. But if you're fine, this video is not for you. If you're trying to like quit weed, and if you think you're functioning fine with weed and you're still a functional stoner, then, you know, click out. This ain't for you. This is for people who are probably trying to quit weed, or they're not unable to be able to balance that out with their day-to-day life. So yeah, if you functional and you don't plan on quitting, but if you feel like there are pros to maybe quitting or pros to stopping and pausing, then continue this video. If not, then yeah, go ahead, click out. This ain't for you, like, whatever. I got some notes with me, so I know what I want to say when I film this. But essentially, it's been about a year and a half now. I was smoking weed, like, and it went from fucking like edibles to vaping and shit, and smoking it. And at first I tried to limit my usage, and then I was able to for a little bit, like it'll be a couple times a week, and then that shit progressed to daily. And then I found myself in this loop of being fucking stoned all day. And I think I was kind of, well, nah, I was not in denial, because I knew it was like I was getting stoned daily. So I was like, okay, something's up, something's gotta change. And the reason I started that anyways was, I mean, personally, I believe I like weed because for spiritual purposes and stuff, and, you know, it helps me chill. And also, like, this year was a fucking hell of a year for me. A lot of shit happened, you know, personally and just overall in all other aspects of my life, and it was a fucking ride, I swear. Let me tell you, 2024 did not treat me well, you know. I mean, certain aspects I was like doing, you know, but other than that, I was just fucking trying to survive, basically. And then prior to all that, like, I think what really led me to using this and ended up being as a crutch was that I was fucking hustling basically before. I was working a full-time on a part-time and trying to like get my own business going. And I overworked myself, and I had my other hobbies too, trying to juggle that, and working out like a couple times a week and juggling all that. And I think, you know, I felt fine, but like my family around me, they're like, slow down, like you gotta slow down. I'm like, no, I'm fine, I feel fine. And then and then also I suffer, I think it's in my family too, but I tend to suffer from migraines. And but yeah, I had my migraines, and that shit really impacted me. If you ever had migraines, for those who suffer from migraines, you know that is freaking horrible. You wouldn't wish that on your own worst enemy, you know, because you're not able to function like at all, because that affects your mental and physical everything. Like, you're sensitive to light and sound and everything, and you just gotta like grin and bear it until the migraine passes. And so because of that, it forced my ass to slow down, because I wasn't listening to my body apparently, and I was trying to work and, you know, stack that paper. And once I got the migraines, it forced me to slow down. And then I think also I retreated to weed because it helped with the pain of the migraines too, and then it just worsened from there, I think. But also, I think, you know, from a spiritual perspective, I think weed has taught me a lot of balancing. But anyway, I feel like weed has taught me a lot on really balancing and integrating, you know, my hustle mindset with my chill, like learn to chill the F out, you know, because I don't know how to balance that out, because I think I just try to take on a lot of responsibilities or something, and because I wanted to like progress faster and faster in my goals, because I got a lot of goals, you know. And weed really did help me to slow down and really recenter and align with myself and get back towards, you know, recognizing who I really am. And honestly, smoking weed really made me way more intuitive, bro. I was like freaking Lucy. If you see that movie, I was like Lucy. Like, I could just access information or whatever I want easily. And yo, I don't want to demonize weed, honestly, because I respect the plant. I'm learning to not abuse that. And so I took this 30-day break. At first, I started not knowing if I wanted to quit entirely or to just take a break, because I knew it was affecting my daily life and I wasn't getting to where I wanted to go. Like, I fucking slowed down. I was like, oh fuck, like I was back at rock bottom. And so there was the downside of that, because yeah, it was like my retreat, my comfort, my solace, but over time it led me to neglect myself, you know. And so I took that risk to just take a break, to just quit fucking smoking. Yeah, I put that shit away. And I also used an app to help with accountability, so having a community really helped. Yeah, wow, I just went off script, hold on. And then also I was thinking how this would pan out, you know, years from now, from this fucking addiction. Like, if I've already been in this for like a year and a half, I'm like, ah, shit, I better not take this to 2 years, and especially 5 years, 10 years. Like, what would that look down the line for me and my goals or my future? And like, I guess I'm looking too far ahead, but like, what about my future kids? If I do have kids, like, would I be a good example? You know, like, is this who I actually want to be? And so I had to really introspect and reflect on that. So I noticed with my addiction, I ended up having to really reflect on myself and my life around me. And I was thinking, like, the fuck? Da Vinci? You know, and I thought enough was enough. Like, I really gotta fucking, like, stop this shit and really get my shit together. So I dropped it. Like I said, I dropped it. And it really helped me to find that balance within myself. And I got way more mental clarity during my 30 days of sobriety. And I'm still sober right now. And I tried to replace this crutch that I realized. I also became the person I fucking despised to be. You know, the very person I did not want to be. A motherfucking stoner doing no jack shit. I lost myself. I lost my goals. I lost sight of who I was. Anyway, so where was I going with this? I always had to pause this video because all these planes and stuff going by, but anyway, oh yeah, so to help me with getting over this crutch, getting over this addiction, I decided to replace it with healthier coping mechanisms like meditation and journaling daily, especially meditation. I meditated almost daily throughout my 30 days. I wasn't too consistent, maybe the first week or so, more so. And I decided to try to replace my thoughts with more positive thoughts by listening to more motivational podcasts. Like, I typically like to watch a motivational video here and there, but I decided to really hone in, and every morning, or practically every morning, I would basically listen to a motivational podcast to get me going, to understand. This is very important. This is very important too. If you're trying to quit weed or take a break or some shit, understanding your why. Like, why did you want to quit? Why did you want to pause? Why do you want to stop? What is your reason? What is your why? And then when you hold on to that why during your sobriety, you'll realize it'll help propel you forward and motivate you to continue on that journey of bettering yourself. Because once you stand strong on your why, it gets easier. And like I said, I use an app to help keep track of my sobriety, and because I knew I probably wouldn't take it as seriously if I didn't, so it forced me to really keep the streak going too of my sobriety. And that really helped, and to have a community really helped too, because other people were going on the same journey I was. Yeah, I was using meditation to be more mindful, more demure, and it worked. It helped me to really look at my thoughts. Really, I mean, weed did help me, honestly. When I was on weed, it really helped me to introspect. Like I said, it really helped me to gain a higher insight, higher perspective on my life and this earth, and how we're all just human beings on this earth just trying to figure out life together, regardless of social class and all that, regardless of skin color, regardless of anything. We're all just humans. We're all souls in this human vessel. And so, yeah, I'm not demonizing weed. I'm just telling you my journey of me taking a break from weed. But anyways, I remember just, before I quit, I was thinking to myself, I want to be great. I want to be great, and I knew if I continued this shit going forward and kept with this addiction, I would be stuck in this cycle of this, how do I say it? Just stagnation, basically, because I would get ideas of like how to propel forward and how to progress, but I was stoned as hell, so I'd also be like, you know what, I'm gonna delay it. I'm gonna just do it tomorrow, do it another day. And even when I did work on stuff, my goals, I was like, I paused too, maybe because I guess like out of doubt too, and yeah, just the weed affected me, honestly. At first it was helping me to be more creative and all, but over time it just negatively impacted me, I'd say, especially because I use it way too often and I pretty much relied on it. I was becoming more dependent on it than I should have. And I knew that success requires discipline, and who I was at the time, that was not it. Like, if I were to see my best version of myself, that would not be who I want to be. Being stoned daily and barely progressing towards my goals, And I knew that. I was aware of what was happening to me while I'd be stoned, but I couldn't seem to. I was also relying on it to calm down my emotions, and it would help me feel more confident, Something I probably struggled with. I mean, I knew I was fine with myself too, but my self-esteem was. I knew I was confident too anyways when I was sober, but my self-esteem would fluctuate, and when I was on weed, it felt like, from a spiritual standpoint, it felt like I was really resonating. I was like, the veil was thinner between my subconscious and conscious mind, and from this material world to the ether. And I was able to, like I said, I was able to easily access like spiritual knowledge just like that, and also was able to really embody that healed version of me, in a sense, because I was still realistically, let's be real here, I was dependent on the weed to access that healed, the higher version of me. And so I use that as insight, and I utilize that insight to really rethink about my decisions, my actions, and where my life has the trajectory of where my life was heading if I would continue with this addiction. But like I said, I knew I wanted to be great. I knew that success requires discipline, and so I forced my ass to quit that shit. And I'm gonna be so, like I said again, I'm not sure how many times I'm gonna put this up in the video, but like I said, I'm not demonizing weed, and I don't think I'll be quitting it entirely, but I would like to exercise more discipline and focus more on my goals and have healthier habits and a healthy routine set in place before I decide to dabble back with weed and stuff. So this is just my journey, and I'm just documenting to you and sharing you my thoughts, and hopefully this might help you too, in a way. I saw the healed version of me when I was high. I felt that healed version of me. Like I said, I felt that embodiment of the higher version of me when I was high. But like I said, it's temporary. It's just a high, because when I come down, I'm back to feeling like shit. Back to feeling like, well, what the fuck? Why am I back down here? Like, where am I now? Like, what happened? Like, why can't I feel the same way that when I was high? And then I knew it's also a mindset, not just, just the weed affecting my brain chemistry and all that, but I knew it's also a mindset, because I knew I had to change something about myself, especially my mindset, so while sober. Because especially if I'm depending on weed now to help regulate my emotions and to feel solace in what felt like a hell of a year, I knew I had to change things in my life. Yeah, it wasn't, when I was high and I had felt that healed version of me, it wasn't truly me yet. And it was at least like a glimpse of who I could be, my potential, my true higher self, and where I was more in my authenticity and more the embodiment of my higher self, like I said, more of that balanced, healthier state of being. I ended up using weed as a crutch. I was burning out when I got the migraines. I burnt out, got the migraines. Being on weed was like a battle between the old me versus the new me. The old version of me versus the new version of me. And let me tell y'all, it was freaking taxing. It was mentally taxing. Mentally taxing. Mentally taxing! And I was battling that between my mind, between being sober or coming down and then getting high. I didn't know how to integrate that better version of me while sober at the time. Anyway, I noticed like when I come down from my high or when I'm sober, I realize how guarded I was. And when I'm serious, I'm dead ass serious. Like, don't fuck with me, dead ass. But like being on weed helped me to like chill down and be mellow, and like I found myself talking to strangers and making conversation and like making friends and shit. And it helped me to realize the balance between not being too guarded, because I think sometimes I could be too guarded, especially coming from my upbringing, my past. But so there was that weed taught me a valuable lesson. Like it really gave me a valuable insight on my life and my habits, my behaviors, me, Okay. All right. I think that was all of what I wanted to say. To pretty much sum it up, what helped me again was accountability, to track my streak, my sobriety streak, and really finding ways to gotta wait for that to pass by. They just go in circles. They play with me right now. I'm really finding ways to replace that crutch, to make sure I'm replacing, because if you just quit cold turkey without adjusting, you're probably most likely gonna find another crutch, to fall onto, another behavior, another addiction. So the simple, cue behavior, what's that? When you build a habit, there's like a cue basically, and then that cue triggers a response in your brain to take action on the stimulus you get the response and the satisfaction and reward, the cue and the behavior, the reward, the cue to habit, reward, or something like that. And in order to, if you're trying to quit or pause, take a break on this, I think, like I said, it really helped me. Me personally, I thought, meditation was a healthy way to replace this, and to journal more often. Although I didn't journal as much, but meditating probably more often than I did journal, and especially just like going on walks in nature and stuff, and finding healthier coping mechanisms, like I said, or even listening to more positive content, motivational podcasts to understand why you're quitting. So that really helps me. And being in a community, like if you can find a community, like your friends, family, whatever, or online, I think that really helps. So if that helps you, hopefully this video helps you. I may take this down, I don't know yet, but I'm putting this up right now, so hopefully it helps somebody out there. So I think this is gonna sum up my video. This is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.